So I'm going to explain what all these options do. Okay? So input window timing, this is a buffer, right? So what it is when you input a button, the game buffers and it saves that input for a certain number of frames and then it lets it rock. So if your timing is a little bit off, you don't have to press the buttons as fast, right? The reason why I have this on long is because when you're playing online, you get frame drops and shit like that, and I would rather have my moves come out, like have a longer buffer, so that way they come out rather than miss the inputs. So let me explain this. You have Scorpion, right? He has his spear, back forward one, right? Okay. When you have input window timing to short, you have to hit back forward one really, really fast. When you have it set to medium, you have to hit it kind of fast, right? So at short, it's like back forward one, right? At medium, it's like back forward one. At long, you have a lot of time, and it saves your inputs through all of that time. So you can hit back forward one, right? So I'll do it really slowly, right? That was pretty slow, right? If you set it to short, you have to do the input pretty fast, right? So I set it to short. Come on. Yeah. Oh, what? God damn it. We set it to short. Well, it doesn't show you the time, right? But if I set it to short, I hit it slowly. This is the speed I was doing it before. This is how fast you got to do it to get it out on short, right? You have to do it very quick, right? You have to do it quick. I have it set to long, so that way, in case there's frame dropping, I'm going to do it fast anyways, but it will come out more regularly when I play online. Crushing blow held check. So whenever there's a string that has a crushing blow attached to it, like say your uppercut, right? So we have that set to on. So if we go to practice options, easy crushing blows, right? We'll turn that on, right? So I don't have to get a counter hit to get the down two. What this does is it allows you to choose when to use your crushing blow. You hold the last button, right? So if I go in and I do an uppercut, nothing comes out, right? I use uppercut, and as long as I don't hold the button, I don't waste my crushing blow. If I hold it, I get the crushing blow. The reason why you want that turned on is say the last move, like say they're on their last hit and they have a tiny minute of health, and an uppercut will kill them, right? A regular uppercut. You don't want to accidentally use your crushing uppercut and waste that damage when a regular uppercut would kill them. So that way you can save the uppercut crushing blow for later in the match when you need to deal more damage. Okay, so release check. This is the big one. This is negative edge, and this is a long one. All right, so buckle in. What is chat saying? Kabbalah versus Tap beef set. Can't do it. They have to be on the same console. Anyways, here's how release check works. There is a thing in all fighting games called negative edge. Even when you have release check off, you still have negative edge. That's just the nature of it. What release check on does is it extends negative edge. So even if you have, like if I have release check off, I can still use negative edge to do that. What negative edge is, when you press a button, the game registers that as an input. So if I press punch, I press the button, right? You guys can see the button right next to my head, right here, right? Nope, right there, right? Right there, you see me pressing punch, right? So when you press a button, the game says you have pushed that button, put that button on screen, right? So I press punch, punch comes out. Negative edge is when you release the button, you get a second input. So I press punch, punch comes out, release punch, right? Because I'm just tapping it. The game takes another input of punch. But it doesn't matter when you have release check off because I'm already in the middle of my punch animation. So another punch cannot possibly come out anyways, right? So I punch, release, other punch doesn't come out, doesn't matter. What release check does is it saves the negative edge. It's like the opposite of this, right? So input window timing, right? That's your buffer. It saves your inputs for a certain amount of time. This only saves button presses. This saves button releases for a certain amount of time. I don't know what the framing is, but basically when I press a button, it takes that input. When I release that button, it takes that input as well. But what release check does, negative edge, is it saves that button release and puts it later on, like at your first possible frame. So, right, if I put release check on, right, and I hit standing 1, right, and release it, it only works for special moves, right? And so I release it, but if I sit there and I do standing 1, hold the button, hit back forward, and then release it, watch. You see how I get spear. Look at my inputs, right? Look at my input. All I did was punch, back forward, release punch, and I can get spear out, right? So what release check does is it makes it to where I don't have to actually push buttons to get special moves. That's why I said it's training wheels. It's for beginners that can't do special moves. Beginners that don't have execution, right? I don't have to do that input. As long as I kind of get the buttons out, like as long as I somehow hit back forward before letting go a punch, my spear will come out. So watch another thing, right? Right? So look at my inputs now, right? You see how I did punch, and then I just did a whole bunch of shit, and then I released punch. And I got punch spear. So you see how like I didn't have to actually be good at the game and actually execute my moves. I just let the game play itself for me. So you get moves when you shouldn't be getting moves. Now, the reason why advanced players don't want that is because sometimes you want to use negative edge for something else, and sometimes you want to buffer things. Negative edge does not allow you to buffer things, right? So say I'm doing 1-1 and I want to buffer teleport cancel, right? Am I in the variation for teleport cancel? I'm not. Let me find something else. Oh, I want to buffer in death spin, right? Let's say I want to buffer that in. But I don't know if I hit confirmed it, right? So I'm trying to hit confirm it. So I hit 1-1 down forward, and then I don't hit 4. Watch what happens. Right? Hold on. Actually, that one's not a good one. Let me do back 1 teleport, right? Back 1 4 3. Right? So I want to do back 1 4 3. If they block, I want to do back 1 4 teleport. Oh, see there? That's a good one. That's a good one right there, right? I got fucking fire out on accident, right? So I want to do back 1 4, right? Back 1 4. But I also want to buffer in the teleport, right? So I want to go back 1 4, right? That's the hit confirm, right? So you do back 1 4, down back to hit confirm, and then when you see that they hit, then you hit the 4 or the 3, and then you get the teleport. But because of negative edge, when I hit down or back 1 4 and then down back, it releases. It gets the input from the release of the 4 button, and I end up getting buff, right? So like, you see that? I don't want that. Look at my inputs, right? This is the hit confirm input right here, right? No, right here. Right? That's the hit confirm input, right? When you're trying to hit confirm a string into a special move, you buffer the first part and then you don't press the last button until you hit confirm. So that's the hit confirm for Scorpion. It's back 1 4, down back. You see it hit, and then you hit X or 3 to do the teleport. But because of the release check, I can't hit back 1 4, down back. I have to hit back 1 4, and then wait, and then hopefully the release check has worn off, and then I can hit confirm. But because of release check, I can't hit confirm. Every time I hit back 1 4, down back, I go into buff. That leaves me open, and they can punish me. That is why you don't have release check on, because you want to be able to do your hit confirms. You can't hit confirm with release check on. Let's see. What is chat saying? Badger really taking time out of his day to help teach people. Well, yeah. Yeah, like that's the secret, right? That's the whole point. But that's why you don't do release check. How do you do with back 3 4 3, down back 3 or nitro? You have to input those slower. because back 3-4-3 is a dial in. Let me go over the rest of the controls, and then I'll show you how to do it with Jade, right? So always have release check off. Leave that off. Off. You literally cannot play at high level if you have release check on. You can't, because you can't hit confirm. You can't. The wrong move will come out. Alternate control, always have that off. So like if you have a move that's like down, forward, punch, it requires the diagonal. So instead of down and then forward punch, you have to hit down and then down forward and then forward punch. There's no reason to have that on. There's no benefit to it. All it does is it makes your special moves harder. Like, I guess that's fine for people that want the game to be more challenging, but like there's no tactical reason. Like, you should just have it off. Input shortcuts. Special moves require less directional precision. The reason why I have this on is because it counts diagonals as horizontals. So what this does, if you have a move that's back forward punch, right? So hold on, let me save this. So say Scorpion has back forward punch, that's spear, right? So back forward punch, spear. You see my inputs. Oh, you see my, God damn it. I'm like looking at the camera, so I'm seeing how you guys are seeing. You see my inputs, right? Back forward spear. With alternate control, or with, what is it called? Input shortcuts. It counts the diagonal. So I can hit down, back, forward, and get spear. Watch. So you see my input here, right? Down, back, forward, and that still got spear. What that does, because I'm not playing on a stick and I'm not playing on a 8-directional D-pad, it's a 4-directional. There are no 8-directional D-pads. The Hori Fight Commander is an 8-directional D-pad, but even then it's a floating 8-directional D-pad with only four input sensors. So it's still just a 4-directional D-pad. You don't want to play on an 8-directional D-pad. Trust me, they're bad. They fuck you up even more. But basically, the way your thumb is on your controller, sometimes you hit, like, unless you're absolutely precisely just hitting the oh shit, it's off camera. So like, unless you're precisely hitting the exact direction, right, your thumb isn't a little low or a little high, then you won't get the special input. So I have input shortcuts on, so it'll count the diagonals as horizontals. So that way, even if I'm a little bit off on my controller, I can still get my special move. That's why you want that to be off. You want that to be on, or that's why I have that on, right? I have that on because I'm playing on a D-pad. You want this off when you're on a stick. If you're on a stick, you have a little bit more control and a little bit more precision. And so if you're playing with a stick, you want to have this off so that way you're not getting weird shit coming out, because on a stick, if you're not used to the stick, you get diagonal inputs on accident a lot and it fucks you up. And then you end up getting moves to come out that you didn't want to come out. So you usually people that play on stick will have alternate control on and input shortcuts off, and that makes it easier to play on an arcade stick. If you're on a D-pad, you want the reverse. You want alternate control off and input shortcuts on, and then that kind of like those two go hand in hand with the D-pad. The last setting is button shortcuts. I have that off. Basically, your triggers, right, like L2, R2, L1, R1, these actually have shortcuts to hit. So if I turn this on, right, we'll turn it on. So you'll see, if you look at my button log, right, I hit L1, and I can get grab, right? But with button shortcuts on, I can actually hit 1+3, right? 1+3 will get grab as well. So this is, again, a setting for people that play on arcade sticks. So a lot of times arcade sticks only have 6 buttons. They don't have, like, what is this, 8 buttons or whatever is on a D-pad, right? Including the L3 and R3 and the touchpad, like, controllers have a lot of buttons. Arcade sticks usually only have 6 to 8 buttons. So oftentimes button shortcuts are there for people on stick to be able to have grab. So yeah, because I'm on stick, I don't have a dedicated grab button, but I can grab with 1+3. So that's why that's there. So if you're playing on D-pad, you usually want to turn that off, because when you're playing on D-pad, oftentimes you're sliding your thumb to do stuff, like with Kung Lao, like when I hit 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? I'm not going 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm hitting 2 and then sliding back and forward. But unfortunately, if I slide back and forward, that gives me a 1+2 input occasionally, and getting a 1+2 input uses interactables. So instead of getting my string, I get an interactable, and it fucks up my combos because of how you play on a D-pad as opposed to a stick. Whereas on a stick, you're not sliding your hands, so you're just pressing really fast with your fingers. So you would rarely get a 1+2 input on accident on stick. If I got 1+2 on stick, it's because I press those at the same time, whereas it happens accidentally on D-pad a lot. So you'll want to have that off if you're on D-pad. You'll have it on if you're on stick.